Alright, what's up, people? How's it going? Hopefully, the audio issues are gone this time. I noticed there was quite a bit of desync in the last stream. I fixed the audio sampling rate between my capture card and the OBS settings, and we should be ready to go. And of course, there is great news. Uh, all the news is not great, but there is great news among all the current events. And that is that Henry Kissinger is dead. You guys might not know who that is. I'll get to that in a minute. This timer is not going. Eh, come on. What is going on? Okay, there we go. Cool. I don't know why that didn't start. I imagine I could do without my headphones, but eh. Hey, hello, nerd of MKW. I see you found the Discord channel, and it looks like the link for that is working. I did create a permanent invite. That invite should be good for an unlimited number of people for an unlimited amount of time. So, I think that's that fixed actually. And I did off screen. Can you give me owner of your Discord server so I can fix it a little? Not a chance. No. I'm sorry if that sounded very blunt. I don't trust anybody with a Discord server except for me. I would make the server a little bit better. Well, you can tell me what would make the server better, and then I will do that. But I'm not giving you my Discord server. I already have two admins, in fact. Or two moderators, at least. Two people that I trust. Or, I haven't given them mod privileges yet, but I've known them for long enough that I know they are very genuine people. Need to enable community. Alright. Ah, okay. Wait. Community servers are invite-only spaces. We'll share, connect, and learn from all of them. Okay, okay. Rules and onboarding. I gotcha, I gotcha. Yeah. Okay, here's the thing, right? Could you add me on Discord? Not right now. Okay, look. I looked into it just a little bit. I will get it. This seems like a thing that I will need to do off stream. There's only 5 people in the Discord right now, which I don't think would I don't think that necessitates the kind of changes you're talking about yet. Off stream, I will look into the feasibility of me doing that, and whether or not it'd be necessary until I have, like, I don't know, 10-ish people on the server. Maybe I would do it right away. I don't know. Look, I see what you're saying about the community server versus the friend server, I think. And that does seem like it'd be a good idea to change the type of server that it is if I intend it to be a larger Discord community for people that watch my live stream. But right now I'm live streaming, and I only trust myself and like a couple other people that I've known for a while to do that sort of thing and to manage the Discord server. Don't take it personal. I don't know why I picked Mario Castle Raceway. Just because, I guess. Royal Rainbow. I do understand. Okay, okay. Anywho. Ah, the track that kicked my ass the first time I played it. Trying to help out? Yeah, and I appreciate it. Even if it sounds like I'm being a little bit abrasive and acerbic, and I didn't mean to throw that. But what I wanted to talk about was current events. There is quite some stuff going on. So, Henry Kissinger. You might know who he is, you might not. That is okay, because I will explain. He was a diplomat of the United States. He was an American diplomat for a large portion of his life. And just about everybody hated this guy, except for the most hawkish types of people. He's responsible for, to give you an idea, Henry Kissinger is responsible for the deaths of millions and the misery of millions more. There from 1970 to like almost up until 2000, basically everything the United States does that is like extremely bad is either directly or indirectly his fault. I'm gonna go. Good luck on stream. All right, thank you. The first thing well, not the first thing. I don't know if there even is a chronological order of things that I could talk about that, like, Henry Kissinger is at fault for, because there's just so much. But the carpet bombing of Cambodia was him. The abandoning of Vietnam, I guess, that was him as well. Although I do think ultimately it was the correct decision to not be involved in Vietnam anymore, because we shouldn't have been there in the first place. Then the coup in Chile, that was him. As well as the maintained support for the Pinochet regime. The coup and the atrocities in Nicaragua was also him. And there are many more just in South America that I would have a hard time naming because, you know, I'm just an American. I have a hard time with geopolitics, right? This is not the kind of guy that you want to have any sort of influential position in the government or in the world at all. I wouldn't trust this guy on my town council, let alone running foreign affairs for the most powerful country in the world. And unfortunately, the adage seems to apply that only the good die young. Because this guy lived till he was 100 years old. But finally, he is gone. In fact, there's a Rolling Stone article that's really good. Where does it say? So let's see, the ascent of this guy, and then yeah, let's see, all of Saigon. All who died in Laos and Cambodia. The secret expansion of the Vietnam War into neighboring countries. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Oh yeah, also the genocide of Bengali people at the hands of the Pakistani government. That was supported by the U.S. at the direction of Kissinger, I believe. Let me look. Yeah, here we go. In 1971, the Pakistani government waged a campaign of genocide to suppress the independence movement in what would become Bangladesh. An architect of the genocide was valuable to Nixon's ambitions of restoring diplomatic relations with China. So the U.S. let Khan do, well, terrible things, including murdering millions of people. Yeah. We can't allow a friend of ours and China's to get screwed with the conflict with a friend of India's, was a quote from Henry Kissinger, actually. Average, I don't know, average U.S. diplomat. He's the most powerful international relations major. Let's see if that does anything for me. Okay, seems like not. Garfield? Goddamn, I didn't know I was racing with royalty. Ow. Okay. For a second I was really worried that I would, like, fall off of the thing there. In fact, when I have a moment, I might, I missed the trick, but that's fine. Sorry, Garfield. Oh! I deserve that. Trying to tab out mid-race. That was a good use of the mushroom, I think. I'll chain this next one here as well. Ah. I have to just go now. Third place? I'll take it. Hey, it's a good thing it's not going for me. Nice. Holy snap. Let's see, in Southeast Asia, Kissinger destroyed, but in Chile, he helped build a template for the world in which we currently live. In September 1970, Chileans elected the democratic socialist Salvador Allende as president. Allende's program was more than redistributionist. It demanded reparation from the US for exploiting it. Chile is rich in copper, and by the mid-60s, 80% of its copper production was controlled by American corporations, particularly the firms Anaconda Copper and Kennecott. This is the template for modern, like, business, by the way, and like modern colonialism and whatever. A lot of businesses in third world countries will be Western businesses, so they don't actually control their own resources. When Allende nationalized mining assets held by the two companies, Allende informed them he would deduct estimated excess profit from a compensatory package he was willing to pay to the firms. It was this sort of unacceptable policy that prompted Kissinger to remark during an intelligence meeting about 2 months before his election, "I don't see why we need to stand idly by and watch a country go communist due to the irresponsibility of its own people." Basically saying, like, why do we need to respect democratic norms in other countries? Like, why, you know, we don't need to do that. We could just, not let them have free elections and shit. And the very short version of what the Rolling Stone article then goes on to explain, I can't take a look at it right now, I might after this race, is that this prompted the United States to orchestrate the coup in Chile that would oust Allende, result in him killing himself, and replace him with Augusto Pinochet, which was one of the foremost generals in the Chilean military at the time, the Chilean military being the United States' allies in that coup, and resulted in the whole, like, political opposition being thrown out of helicopters meme. So that's Kissinger's fault. Very cool, I guess. Ooh, mushroom. No, I'm dead as fuck. Right. No, what the... I'm really not driving super well today. Which is annoying, but I mean, it's not the end of the world or anything. You get beat by Sushi Kong. 8 players, not bad. Kissinger, war criminal. Somebody holding up a sign that says that. That's based. Really? Interesting. Okay. Further paraphrasing of Kissinger is that Henry Kissinger saw Salvador Allende as being a far more serious threat than Castro. Fucking Fidel Castro. Allende was a living example of democratic social reform in Latin America. So basically, the idea... Kissinger and America at the time thought that the most dangerous thing was the notion that socialism could be achieved through the ballot box, which I believe that it can in the right circumstances. Fidel Castro, of course, was a socialist revolutionary who, with the guerrillas in Cuba, seized power through a violent revolution outside of the electoral system, because there was no electoral system. It was a dictatorship. Meanwhile, Chile was a up-and-coming liberal democracy where a socialist won on the ballot box and began to reform their way to socialism, basically. Which is very cool, I think. Being a socialist myself, it's, you know, it's closer than we think it is, which is real cool. You have fun up there, guy. I'm just staying in second. Ooh, mushrooms. No, dude! Oh my god. I knew something was wrong about that alignment. Shit. Kissinger and the CIA decided to overthrow Allende just days after his election. Upon learning what was in motion, the U.S. ambassador in Santiago who was second to none in opposing Allende, cabled Kissinger that to actively encourage a coup would lead us to a Bay of Pigs failure. An apologetic Kissinger told Corey to stay out of the way as the ambassador. And the CIA failed at what was termed a Rube Goldberg gambit to get the Chilean Congress to stop Allende from taking office. He urged his boss to purge the key left-wing dominated slots in the agency. And then from there, the United States supported the military junta that would take power in Chile, and they bombed the Chilean capital on September 11th, 1973. Yeah. Never forget, am I right? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't have an item. This is dangerous. Okay, now I have a banana, which is some protection. It's not great, but it's better than nothing. I see. I guess I just front ran Sherbet Land and won. Cool. And the Mach Bike really helps on custom tracks. Oh yeah, I saw this earlier in the Rolling Stone article. Kissinger, funnily enough, Henry Kissinger was the architect behind the rhetoric of capitalism equals freedom. That didn't exist before he decided to make it a thing. A lot of times, the key arguments for like against capitalism were around freedom, but he played an instrumental role in co-opting the language of freedom to serve capitalistic political objectives, even though socialism enables a lot more freedom than capitalism does. So when people say, well, capitalism is one freedom and socialism is one no iPhone, Venezuela, whatever, that was because of Henry Kissinger. And it was capitalism particularly that he wanted to create that positive association with, because, of course, as we saw in the thing there, the priority of Kissinger and the United States was not freedom and democracy. Rather, it was capitalism. And a lot of times, democracy can be incompatible with capitalism. You know? Where'd he go? Oh, did he fall off? Okay. Let's see. Nice. I got him, I guess. If I remember right, that's actually faster if I do that. Ah. I'm just asking for it. I'm in first with no item on this section. Or maybe not. It's okay, I guess, to let him have first. Ah, jeez, you got a star. Yay! I drove pretty well that race. My lines were questionable, but no huge mistakes. That's enough about Henry Kissinger. I think you guys know that he is evil and bad. Was, because he's dead now. Packwatch, R.I.P. Bozo. There was also something else today. It's like 2 giant news things broke while I was eating lunch. One of them was that, well, I'm sure they broke earlier than that, but that's when I saw them. One of them was Representative George Santos has actually been expelled from Congress. This guy is a well, I don't know if he's gay or if he's straight or if he's bi, because he lies as easily as he breathes. But he is a representative from New York, and he got himself into all sorts of trouble by lying compulsively and also lying in such a flagrant way that had no regard for optics, such as to make the Republican Party look bad. The reason I put it that way is because the rest of the Republican Party also lies unendingly. The difference being that they have some regard and some, understanding of how optics works and how they need to sort of play by those rules. Anyways, he also did, he did some nice, some campaign fraud. He did some garden variety fraud. He did some impersonation, I think. He's, like, wanted by the Brazilian feds and things like that. Pretty wild stuff, you know. And now, by a margin of, like, I think it was 311 out of the 435 members of Congress actually voted to get him out. He's been expelled from Congress. He's no longer a politician. So that's nice. That was hectic as fuck. You and me both. M game 99, whatever. Alright, I need to get to the next set of boxes. That's for damn sure. There we go. Only one mushroom? Jeez, dude. Another mushroom. Okay. Better than nothing. Whoa! Okay. Greed. That was greed. Okay. Nice. I'm trying to gauge whether or not the the game audio is lagging way behind. It's kind of hard for me to tell. I certainly hope it isn't, because that would complicate things. But it seems no. 11 players? We got a room. I guess it's because it's Friday afternoon now. There's more people. Representative George Santos was expelled from the House. NBC News. What is Only 5 other people have been expelled from the House of Representatives. 3 of them were because of their affiliations with the Confederacy during the Civil War. All in 1861. And then in modern history, no way, a fucking representative named Michael Myers, not just the guy named Michael Myers, convicted of bribery, okay, in 1980. And then in 2002, James or something like that, was convicted of 10 felonies. Okay, that's a lot. That is a lot. And now George Santos, I don't believe he's been convicted of anything yet, because no sitting politician can really get convicted of anything. It's almost like an exception proves the rule sort of thing. But he has been indicted on several crimes, so he decided, yeah, we don't want you here anymore. Okay. Ow. I thought I could outrun him, but I was wrong, in fact. I could not outrun him. Ow. I need an item. I think I schlagged somebody. Here, I don't know what I'm gonna do with these green shells, actually. I need an item. Give me that. Nice. Oh, that's good. Oh my god! I didn't even see that until I landed on it. Star? Let's go. I think I want to use that at the start of lap 3 here. No, dude! He took my star. God damn it. Son of a bitch. This race is not going my way. Alright. Give me an item. 3 mushrooms? That's okay. For the spot I'm in. Okay, good. Mega mushroom. Cool. No, 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 no. Oh, come on, dude. Give me that box. Oh my god. Did he use the shock? That's kind of crazy. Fifth. Holy shit. How did I go through all of that and still get 5th? This is a great room. I hope it stays in the range of like 8 to 12 players. Because holy, this is great. This is great gameplay. There was something else I wanted to say about George Santos being expelled from Congress. Pack Watch, RIP Bozo, all that sort of thing. But I want to emphasize that, like, George Santos is basically like every other Republican. I mentioned earlier that, like, Republicans lie just as much as George Santos does. They just have the good sense in their heads that they're smart enough to lie in a way that doesn't offend optics too much. You know, like they lie about things that it's socially accepted to lie about in politics. That being like policy making and, well, other stuff. And they tend to keep their lying away from the cameras insofar as the, like, more flagrant stuff is concerned. You know, George Santos will just go out there and say, like, yeah, I invented baseball or some shit. And he doesn't actually believe it. None of the Republicans believe anything that they say. But honestly, I think the difference is just the naivete. George Santos is really naive and is, like, stuck in high school and thinks he can actually get away with that shit. And although there aren't many limits on politicians and on people in that class, there are some, you know, where you can at least be kicked out of the highest legislative office in the entire country for transgressing those limits, although you won't incur much other punishment. I doubt if George Santos will face much meaningful prison time, given how wealthy he is, but, you know, I've been wrong before. And I would love to be proven wrong this time. No, I forgot how that works. It's fine. This is a catch-up friendly track, I think. Especially when I get something like that. Ooh, wow. I'm not stopping for that. Please take first. I do not want to be in first. Oh god. But now I don't have an item. That was bizarre. I don't know how to do that section. Oh, nice. Back in the back. Alright. Give me an item. Yes. I'll take that. Oh, the guy must have had a mushroom or something. I'm gonna try to hold on to this mushroom, although I'm very aware that it's possible. Okay. I was gonna say it's possible that the shock happens, but that could have a relatively similar effect. Oh, fifth. Whew. What a race. I'm making some mistakes, but you know, things are turning out okay in these races. And it's not to say that I actually care if I get a good or bad placement. It's like I want to feel like this is good content, and I feel like if I'm driving badly, then the content quality gets worse. Anywho. Mario Castle Raceway, let's get it. Who's picking Six King Labyrinth, dude? Why is that track still in the pack? Oh, cool. I guess we're playing my track then. Or the track that I picked, at least. Oh, it's mirror mode, though. That presents problems. There's people bagging back there? Alright. Nerds. I don't know why I said that, but what you get for picking Flame Runner instead of Mach Bike. I see. What's up, Haircross? Ah, got him. Dude, this guy's on the shooting star. Shoutouts. I might be dead as fuck here. Yeah, I am. Ah, I'm dead. I get passed by everybody. And is even the next item set? If I do this. God, is the next item set really at the ramp up there? That's a long distance between items. Ah! I don't know what place I got, but that was sick, where I dodged at the very end of my star and then passed, like, 2 people on the line. Cool. Nice. Oh yeah, there's one thing I was doing a couple days ago. So I watch Alternate History Hub, banger channel. Let me pick a. I actually don't know what track I want. I watch Alternate History Hub. Very cool stuff. I've really seen the channel grow with time, and I don't mean just like in follower base and whatever. More so like his ability to analyze historical scenarios and sort of place the or rather it like his understanding of history has grown a lot, and it's been a lot of fun to sort of grow my understanding of history with that channel. And recently there was a video about the Quebec independence referendum of 1995. Very obscure event for politics nowadays, but it spurred me to look into the Catalan independence referendum of 2017 because I had, like, I guess misremembered some stuff. I had misremembered some stuff about that independence referendum back in the day. And as it turns out, I was wrong when I thought that, like, the independence referendum passed by, like, a margin of 51 to 49 or whatever. That was actually the Quebec independence referendum that passed by that margin. The Catalonian referendum was actually a much more significant margin. It was like 91 to 9 was the percentage margins for the like votes in the Catalan independence vote in 2017. But the problem was the turnout was really low. The turnout was only 43%, which, by the way, in the United States, we get turnout like that all the time, and that doesn't fucking impede the electoral process. People still think those elections are perfectly legit. But the real reason that the turnout was like that, the reason that like so few people went and voted, is because the Spanish government actually outlawed the election, and they sent police to close all the ballot boxes, and to like prevent people from going and voting. Remember, I mentioned, I mentioned that there's a video from back in 2017 of police throwing old people down flights of stairs who were trying to vote in the independence referendum or something. It's really fucked up. And that's why so many people stayed home. And then the Spanish government essentially used that as a veneer of, like, plausible deniability, but also, like, said, like, see, the election can't be legit because enough people didn't vote, and enough people didn't vote because we prevented them from voting. You know. I'm getting messed up this race. Yeah, okay. In fact, I have Wikipedia open. 2017 Catalan independence referendum. 92% yes, 7.99% no. And most of the existing votes there were valid. 43% registered voter turnout, so pretty legit election as far as that goes. The referendum was approved by the Catalan parliament in a session and boycotted by 52 anti-independence parliamentarians. Let's see. Stated that independence would be binding with a simple majority without requiring a minimum turnout. So, election was legit. according to the law. But, you know, of course, there's some constitutional fuckery. Spain suspended the law and then, like, struck it down entirely. Yeah, the days leading to the referendum witnessed hasty judicial fights, and the High Court of Justice of Catalonia, that's the court affiliated with the Spanish government, because, you know, eventually ordered police forces to impede the use of public premises for the imminent voting. With conflicting directives, a referendum mostly saw inaction of part of the autonomous police force of Catalonia, which allowed a lot of polling stations to stay open, and then they called in the national Spanish police, the like police from outside of Catalonia, to properly do all that like suppression of the vote and shit like that. Cool. Give me item. Yay. Just give me a little ahead of that guy. I just don't want to be within draft distance. Oh. Cool. Cards on the table. What do you have? So there wasn't much of anything. Yeah. Hit the dirt. Take that. Mushroom. Hehe. That guy's way up there. And now I'm in 5th. Okay. Yay. Alright, 4th. Okay. This track is one of those tracks where, like, the shortcuts make things super spread out. Really complicates things. Oh well. I'm tired today. You know, I was, well, there's my explanation. It's raining outside. Yesterday, I think I came down with something, and I felt it a little bit this morning. I'm mostly over it now, which is nice. But even still, I think I want to take today pretty easy. Let's vote Neo Koopa City. That's a fun track. I think I'm mostly going to try to pick tracks where the Mach Bike has an advantage, which is a lot of tracks in Custom Track GP. There are many, many tracks that are like that. Oh, here's another thing that's that might be interesting for some people. So the Republican Party's been like trying to say, please give us anybody except Trump. Give us anybody except Trump. And it hasn't been working out super well for them because Trump is the only personality in the Republican Party. But their latest thing is the Republican Party like establishment and whatnot is trying to gear up some support for Nikki Haley, the former ambassador to the UN under the Trump administration, you know. But of course, like, you know, if you take a look at the raw support numbers and whatnot, she does not have the support to get through the primary election, like, at all. No serious political actor, analyst, or hobbyist, or whatever, would argue that Nikki Haley, of all people, has a chance to win the Republican presidential primary, or the presidential election, for that matter. I mentioned a bit last time why, and like partially because she's a woman, and Republicans actually hate women, like, a lot. But the main thing I want to analyze this time is why this won't work on the part of the Republican Party rather than on the part of Nikki Haley, and that is because of like the desperation involved here. In order to build up a candidate, especially one that isn't incumbent and doesn't necessarily have the same degree of name recognition, you need to do a lot of prep beforehand. It is entirely possible to do that, even if it's like you're incumbent currently in office and whatnot. It's by no means impossible, but it is difficult and requires an amount of like setup beforehand. Nikki Haley did not have the setup or the help beforehand to be able to like even remotely crack into the sort of base of support that Donald Trump has, and of course add to that Trump's base supports him irrationally. They're a cult, and you know she's never gonna cut it. Funnily enough, a similar thing happened in 2015-16, where the Republican Party went with the line of anybody except Trump, please. And they couldn't, they weren't able to do that because they were unable to coalesce around a single charismatic figure that was not Donald Trump. You know, people in the Republican Party liked Trump. You know, I think initially it was like, it was Jeb Bush, and then somebody, and then it was like Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio, and the time to build up a candidate was really not there on the part of the Republicans. Their attention was so divided between who they wanted as their main person that all the media cameras were like on Trump, and he just kind of sailed through the primary. And the same thing is happening this time, only now Trump has a much firmer hold of the Republican base. And he is going to sink the Republican Party right into the ground. And I say that because I would like that to happen, partially. I mean, I also think that's what's going to happen. But I think it doesn't take somebody who hates the Republicans to be able to see that, like, the Republican Party cannot survive Donald Trump. He just needs to be around long enough for that to come to pass, if that makes sense. And the desperation of the Republican Party grasping at straws, trying to find anybody that isn't Donald Trump that's like a serviceable, charismatic figure, is evidence of that. But, you know, Nikki Haley ain't it. She's the new toy of the Republican donors and whatever. as far as like, hey, look at her, put her on TV, you know, say the line. And I'm sure after like a month or so, it's going to be somebody else. But once the primary's done, and the Republicans can't really do that anymore. And it's going to be Trump versus Biden again, which is going to suck for all of us. Yeah. Oh, that guy knows what he's doing. I'm not going that way. I do know how to do this one, though. I can't believe I didn't hit that. Oh, that guy in first has a mile lead now. Oh, he can't do that anymore. Do you have a mushroom or something? No, he didn't. Okay. Low trick. Nice. That's what you like to see. Ah, nice try. Hey, got him. Still not going that way. I know that way is faster, and I know how to do it. I'm not doing it on online Mario Kart, though. I cannot believe I got target shocked in the tiniest little corner cubby hole. Alright, I'm still doing this, though. That was janky as hell, but it worked. Ow. No, I'm gonna mess up. Here we go. I feel like I've been driving pretty good, though. It's a shame. Oh, perfect. Alright. Oh my god, dude, are you serious? Ah. Lame. Oh, come on. Alright, well. Shock kind of helps me because I'm in a back spot. No, I didn't get an item. Oh, and he got a blue shell? That sucks, man. Okay. Dang. Let's do that. There we go. Might be a little bit late for that, but I turned down the game volume just a touch. And you know, there's never not news breaking. I know that much. The world is too big of a place for there not to be some significant news item. But I feel like in the United States, with the news feed that I get and that I see, I feel like I'm relatively isolated from interesting events and stuff that has wide-ranging political implications to it. You know, because that stuff will happen and I watch videos and live streams about it. And I'm like, how did I not see this before? Like, shouldn't news outlets have been reporting on this? You know? And then find out later, maybe they did report on it, or maybe it was like back page news coverage, or it was like, oh, well, there were a bunch of independent journalists talking about it, but I can't see exactly what the independent journalists are saying because Twitter doesn't actually show you who you follow. It doesn't actually show you their posts and whatever, which is fucking stupid. I'm gonna have to figure that out. Maybe that's what I'll do after stream. Try to get my newsfeed to act properly. I feel like I've burned out more often than not this stream. I can't believe I managed to spam all those mushrooms before the POW. Go on ahead. Yes! Sick. Oh, I didn't get an item. That's unfortunate. I'm content to just stay in second. Believe me. Well, guess I'm in first now. Alright, sick. True. That track is cool. Dragon Burial Grounds is a difficult track. I'm not going to pretend that it's easy. But it doesn't suffer from one of the issues that I think other tracks suffer from, which is, like, there's not a make or break shortcut that you have to have specific track knowledge in order to do, right? The track, it has some shortcuts, right? And they, you know, they'll gain you an upper hand, but they won't give you so much of an upper hand. Like, one banana, one fake item box or whatever, that could still put you right back with the rest. And I think that's actually good track design. There are a couple things that Dragon Burial Grounds does suffer from, like I think the like really wide and long straightaways. Some of the turns are at a bit awkward angles, but those are relatively minor things. And I think there's like You can have as many minor flaws as you want. Any of the like small granular stuff. If your track on the whole is in accordance with certain like I would consider core principles of building a good racing track, and that's one of them. The one where there aren't like there's not a route that's so much better than the other routes that you have to have some track specific knowledge to be able to do. You know, and that means that even the guys that were really far behind, they weren't that far behind everybody else. You know, like sure there was quite some distance, and you would need like a blue shell or two for them to be able to catch up, but it was like it was a cumulative over time thing rather than a like 1 to 2 burst like shortcut things. Come on, dude. Dude! Alright. Oh, thank you for bringing me back up to speed. That was good golden. In fact, that's about as good as I think golden mushroom really could be for me. There. Sorry, guy. Inside him. I'm surrounded by mega mushrooms right now. At least that guy's in front of me, so there's no danger that he, like, slows down to hit me. At least there's only relatively little danger. Ah, sucks to be in that position. God damn. Yeah, I get it. Oh, what the f- This is Mario Kart moment, dude. I was driving so good, too. And I didn't get an item. Ugh. Own this race. I don't have the shock, dude. I only wish I did. Alright, cool. That was a tighter pack than the last race, which is cool. Dude, we got some people in this room. Holy shit. There's some cutthroat racers, dude. Oh yeah, the other big thing. I've mentioned there was two big things that broke, or that I saw while I was eating lunch that I read up about. George Santos was one of them. And then the other one was a new report about Israeli intelligence as it relates to the October 7th attacks by Hamas. So, as per New York Times, Israel knew Hamas's attack plan more than a year ago. A blueprint reviewed by the Times laid out the attack in detail. Israeli officials dismissed it as aspirational and ignored specific warnings. So, the gist of this article, I read it earlier because I knew I wasn't going to be able to read a longer form news article on stream. The gist of it is that Israeli intelligence picked up the intent of Hamas to do basically exactly the attack that we saw on October 7th. Seriously, the plans they recovered, the blueprint that they found, basically plotted out what was going to be the attack down to the methods and everything. And like it was beat by beat the same thing, basically, from the location of the attack to what they were going to do before, what the overarching plan was during the attack, and all of that. And when analysts inside the Israeli government presented that information to higher ups in the Israeli government and the Israeli military, they ignored it, saying like, you're delusional. This is purely aspirational and like fantasy land shit on the part of Hamas. They didn't take it seriously on the surface because they like didn't think Hamas was actually that much of a threat. That's the reason that they gave. But I believe that it was more because Israel was kind of like daring, like more or less daring Hamas to do it because they wanted a pretext to do what they're doing now. And there's a reason that I say that as well. I do have a like information to back this up, which is that like around the time of the attack, I think Netanyahu specifically, when asked, was like, we don't think Hamas is planning anything. You know, Hamas's intentions are unclear. We don't think they're really planning anything and stuff like that. But they had to have some knowledge of the impending attack, even if it was just like, this one person, this one analyst says this. And it was a senior analyst, by the way. We're not talking about some, like, new intern. You know, clearly they had the knowledge of the impending raids. And then the next thing that basically confirms for me that Israel let the attack happen more or less intentionally is that, I don't know if you guys remember, part of the reason that Hamas's initial offensive was as deadly as it was is because Israel actually withdrew its troops. If you can believe it, Israel drew its troops back from the exact location where Hamas ended up attacking. And it was indeed the location in these intelligence reports where these officials suggested that Hamas was going to attack. This was based on the intel they had beforehand. They were like, Hamas is going to attack here at this crossing, whatever, near these kibbutzim. And instead of acting on that, or even just not acting on that, on the day of the attack, October 7th, which I believe was a Jewish holiday, they took troops off of the border and relaxed the security there, which indicates to me not that like, oh, keeping up security would have like prevented this or anything, because Hamas is a monster of Israel's own making, but more so that Israel was kind of baiting them in so they could then have a pretext to take the genocidal campaign against Palestine to the next level. Previously, it had been sort of the historically drawn-out project of settler colonial genocide, the likes of which the U.S. has engaged in against Native Americans. But now it's more open, more explicit, and Israel has Hamas to thank for that. Hamas is a gift. It is God's gift to Netanyahu, and Netanyahu has expressed as much because he loves Hamas. He needs Hamas to be in the position that it is to delegitimize the cause of Palestine and to make genocide easier. So, in addition to Egypt, I think a week beforehand, warning Israel of the attack, Israel had its own intelligence uh, from as long as a year before the attacks, confirming that something was about to happen. It was really fucked up. This track is kind of laggy. Oh, is this really faster? Dang. I don't think I've used an item so far this race, and I'm doing all right. I'm gonna hold that. Oh, you son of a bitch! Jeez. Come on, dude. Feels like I'm getting the short end of the stick these last few races. Case in point. Not really a good place to use these mushrooms. Maybe here. I don't know. Ah, dude. Nice item. The best item. Give me that. How am I in fourth? Because of my godlike driving abilities is why. No! Ah! Dang. I drove so well that last lap. Okay, never mind. If I'm getting plus points for 6, then alright, I guess there's not as much pressure on me to actually drive well. You know, number go up, number go down. I don't care as much. Because I think there's a little myth that was bouncing around in my head about, like, you know, eventually this can end. No, Mario Kart is never ending. Infinite game, infinite gameplay, infinite tracks, infinite things in general. So why would I worry about getting to some theoretical endpoint? I mean, this is just, I'm gonna keep streaming the game, even if I do hit 9999. It doesn't actually mean anything. Blue Lake, that track is a banger in CTGP. Genuine banger. And here we go. Please don't be mirror mode. I actually don't care because it would be a banger on mirror mode too. Okay, it's 150. Yeah. Okay. I didn't get an item, but that's okay. Ah, Daisy. Alright, get me up there. Whoa, dude. Whoa, okay. I don't know what's going on here. But alright. That was probably the best outcome that I could hope for there. Just using my mushroom immediately before the palace so I don't, like, get a boost at all. Ah, they took my boxes. Jesus, this is hectic. The bomb. And I'm not afraid to use it. Take this route this time. Yeah, I got him. Very nice. I'll just chuck this. Why not? Okay. You know, there are some times when holding your ground is not a good idea against somebody with a star, and then sometimes it actually works, and that is one of those times. I'm gonna chain this. Nice, second place. I'm content to just chill in second place right now. Unless? Damn. Oh, shit! Okay. Don't, okay. Give me that. Can't believe I got it. That's a mushroom. It's all well and good. I ranked pretty well to get 7th place that race, but I'm not going to complain because it meant I got to play Boo Lake custom track. That track is sick. Huh. What a shit day outside. Dude, I'm so glad I went to AFAC yesterday and not today. Oh, I just remembered. I was trying to think, like, I'm sure there's something I'm forgetting to talk about. How could I not forget, or how could I not talk about, excuse me, the most cool thing that I did yesterday, which is I rode down to the food bank on my new e-bike. Thank you. It's very cool, actually. And I helped at the food bank. I just bagged raw chicken for about an hour and a half. Hour 15 minutes, whatever. I had signed up for this beforehand, and like I've volunteered with the food bank before, but I'd never bagged raw food with them before. So it was like a 3.5 mile ride by bike. But you know, I made it out there. It was relatively easy on the way down because it was mostly downhill. And you know, I got set up, put on a hairnet, got some gloves, got an apron, and you know, there was boxes of raw chicken, and we had to take the boxes that were full of like a bunch of raw chickens and put them in smaller bags to have like 3 chickens, not 3 chickens, 3 pieces of chicken per bag, and they were pretty substantially sized, so that like whoever needed it could like have that as a meal. Whoever's on the food bank's list of people to deliver these meals to, you know. And you know, that felt good for me to do when I was out there. See, the setup was like, I was one of the people putting the chicken from the box to the bag, and then we would put it in a plastic bin, and eventually the plastic bin would, like, fill up, and so we had to send it on its way, get a new plastic bin, so on and so forth. Eventually, we'd run through a whole box of chicken stuff, so we would need, like, a new box of chicken as well. I would occasionally have to pick up one of those boxes, and they are not light boxes. Chicken is heavy. And I just sort of did that back and forth for about an hour and 15 minutes. It was supposed to take 2 hours, but we made pretty good time. It was a very well-conducted operation, I think. Here I am speaking like it's some military shit. But while I was there, I chatted up some of the guys that were there bagging the chicken with me. It was a lot of them were older gentlemen, looked to be in their 50s, maybe 60s. And here I am, 23-year-old. I must look like a child to them. But bagging and boxing and sending it on its way. I talked to some of these guys, talked about, small stuff, and, work and where we were from and all that. And, we also started talking, we talked a little bit about food, because we're working at the food bank. We're putting the chicken in the bag. And, I pointed out, I was going to try to, like, talk politics without talking politics. I was trying to, hide my power level, as it were. I was talking about how fast food is really expensive now, even though the point of fast food initially was that it was super cheap. And, groceries are also expensive. It's like, groceries are expensive, but they're less expensive than fast food, which is supposed to be cheaper, and that's supposed to be the appeal of it. And I made some offhand remark, like, I guess they're saying that, like, you're paying for the convenience and stuff, and the guy across from me who I was working with, we were bagging the chicken, just volunteered to say, like, he didn't, like, put his hand up. He just said, like, yeah, it's companies, they can get away with it. They collude and all that. And I was kind of surprised that so many, like, I could just randomly find another person who was, had that same sentiment. I guess I need not abandon all of my optimism for the attitudes that people hold towards the world. Because a lot of people, if you just give them a little bit of a, like, I don't mean to, like, preach or anything, but a lot of people could be, on any other day, they could be a socialist. A lot of liberals would be amicable to socialist principles, which I guess experienced firsthand in this food bank. But then talked about some fun stuff. We regularly remarked on how our hands were getting super cold because, raw chicken, handling raw chicken is very rough. What? How did this happen? Okay, yeah, take first. I don't want to get hit by a blue shell. That was dangerous. The way back from the food bank was much more annoying, though. A lot of the downhill, I'm kind of not doing it 100% justice, but just by saying it was like downhill versus uphill. There's one really big hill near my house in the neighborhood where I live. But then a lot of the slopes between there and the food bank are very gradual. So I was riding downhill, and of course, riding downhill, the gradual slope is really nice because it, helps you just enough. And things like that. But then on the way back, it got really annoying because for whatever reason, the motor on my e-bike was like not properly registering that I was on an uphill slope, because it could, you know, like I said, it was so gradual. And so the motor wasn't like kicking in to help me, even though I was pedaling pretty regularly, and you know I was really wearing out my legs, you know. And it got almost as bad as a regular bicycle on the way back. So I'll have to reevaluate my approach when it comes to going up hills like that specifically, those gradual slopes. Because I'm sure there is a way to make it a lot easier. Um, you know, whether it's a matter of pacing myself or just not pedaling so hard when I don't really need to. Rabbit Hole. My least favorite track. Now I mentioned Dragonite. Dragonite? No, it was what was it? That other custom track. Fucking Dragon Burial Grounds. That's what it was. I mentioned Dragon Burial Grounds was a track that suffered from some minor issues, but ultimately was a good track because it got like a lot of the major stuff right. This is a track that suffers from both big and small issues. The Rabbit Hole is. The Rabbit Hole is a, well, it's a doozy. I've talked at length before about all the things I think are wrong with this track. But ultimately, it's like one of the biggest things that I think it's in violation of, as far as like the big track principles that I, talk about, is that you have to have track knowledge in order to stand a chance. Not like to win, but like there are several make or break things. Like if you don't know the track, you just lose automatically, and there's nothing items can really do to save you. Because despite there being quite a bit of visible off-road, you won't be helped that much by shortcuts and whatnot. Got him. The only reason I'm winning right now is because I know the track specifically. And I don't like that that is the case. See, I knew there I had to abandon the angle that I was going with. That's another bit of track knowledge. And another thing about this track, I get the sense that some of this track knowledge stuff is unintentional. Like it stems from things that the track creator didn't necessarily intend you to be able to do. So I think at the very least this track could stand to undergo a pretty major update, you know? That's another thing, if you bounce off one of those mushrooms, you lose a ton of time on those mushrooms if you're unlucky. And that one is a little bit more of just a pure luck thing. We got a combo? Sorry, bro. It's a Machiavellian world out there. What's up, idiots? I guess I win. Yeah. That track needs a major overhaul. Or it needs to just be gone from the pack, I think. That's, I think that's what's what for that track. I don't feel like I have that much energy left in me. You know what? I'm gonna keep racing until 2 hours or Neo Koopa City, whichever one comes first. If Neo Koopa City gets picked, I think I'm just gonna make this my last race, and then I'll go. Lava Road. Okay. So I guess we're sitting here for a little bit longer. You know, maybe I should make a segment about more stuff that I think makes a good or bad track. Just like core design things versus the little flaws and whatever. Ow. Got distracted. Good attempt. Got him. Yeah, you always got to be careful when you're in that sort of position. Because it's like very possible that the guy in front of you, in that case me, like I could just sort of put something on the inside here. See, he learned that time. Or maybe that was a different guy. I don't know. Either way, that's what you want to watch out for. Blooper, best item. Best item. I love that item. Mushroom. Hey, there we go. He's picking up on it, I think. No! Oh, I thought I was clever, but I was actually not. Alright, let's see what we get. 3 mushrooms. Now, what can I do with that? One mushroom. What's up, Birdo? True. Right. You know, I've talked about what I don't like about certain custom tracks, right? There's the big core things about what makes a good custom track or a bad custom track, and then there's the small details. I think Boo Lake is one of the tracks that gets both the big and the little things right. And that's why, for me, it is a great track. All right, this will be the last race. Meanwhile, something like Dragon Burial Grounds is a good track because there are some of the little things that it gets wrong, but a lot of the big things it gets right. For example, the whole, like, no track knowledge that will just result in an automatic win if you're racing as somebody who knows it versus somebody who doesn't. You know, let's see, not having too many big long straightaways. That's something from that Rabbit Hole really suffers from. The whole, like, bad luck you versus the track element is something that Rabbit Hole also has that Blue Lake doesn't really. Whoa, dude. Okay. You know, and then a lot of trick ramps and boosts and stuff Blue Lake also has. Now Rabbit Hole has that as well, but they're much more clunky. I think that there's a degree of polish for sure that Blue Lake has that Rabbit Hole does not. You know, maybe it had a certain degree of polish when it first came out back in like 2018, but I think now custom tracks have clearly advanced beyond that. I mean, look at what we're driving on right now. This is such a beautiful track compared to what we had prior. You know? Cards on the table, dude. I have a red shell. But I'm not going to throw it at you because I'm hoping there will be a blue shell. That's what I'm hoping. I'll get rid of it just because. Now the irony is me using this mushroom to pass him and then getting blue shelled as a result. Yay! Hooray for racing smart. But yes, the trick ramps, the scenery, the polish overall, the lack of massive, boring straightaways, the lack of such a skill gap between the sweat lords and the casuals. Those are all the things that make GBA Blue Lake feel like a great track to me. And there's a very difficult harmony that it manages to strike between being good at racing and being good at using items, where you can, you know, it genuinely feels like a Mario Kart track. And of course, that's partially because it's a retro track, but it's a, you know, it's a new and refreshing take on it. Meanwhile, Rabbit Hole, I think, you know, obviously there's a bit more of a degree of difficulty because it's an original design of a custom track. And you don't quite have that template to work off of that, you know, Nintendo has with their tracks at times. But nonetheless, I don't think it's a very positive racing experience. You know, because of the aforementioned big factors being absent. And it does some small things right as well. Like a lot of the turns, no one turn in the Rabbit Hole is very difficult to make. That is a big thing that Rabbit Hole actually, or big, little, medium, whatever. It's something that Rabbit Hole does right that a lot of other tracks don't, but I wouldn't consider it big enough for it to save the track in my eyes. You know, there's the card, the moving card guys as well, sort of a rogue element. Yeah. Anyways, no raid this time. I'll just see you all on Sunday. I'll be playing Mario Kart Wii again.